Hi guys, my name is Girish, the host for Back2Basics. I hope you're enjoying all the episodes that I've done so far, week by week, every day. That's what we're doing here, aren't we? So today we have a guest and we're going to talk about food, nutrition, and everything else, and what she does and what she not do, and what you should not do. How about that? So guys, let's invite Dr. Grace into my podcast and let's chit chat with her and see what she's up to today. So Dr. Grace, how are you? And thanks for coming on my show.
Hi, thank you so much. It's an honor to be here.
Yeah, same here. Thank you so much. Before we get into the details of who you are, what you are, and why you are, what does Back to Basic mean to you?
I think going to your source of all that is, truly, taking away the crumbs that no longer serve your purpose and returning to the essence of who you are and what you are and what you need.
Yeah. Thank you so much, by the way, for that. And thank you again for coming on my show and making this brighter for me. And it's just amazing how you and me chatting right before we recorded and we kind of clicked and we're like, let's go for it. So thank you again.
Good.
So tell me, Dr. Grace, what do you do and who are you? Let's explain to people what you do for a living, or what do you do that it makes you tick in the morning?
Sure. Well, starting from the beginning, I am a chiropractor and functional medicine doctor and food specialist. I was the first Olympic level rhythmic gymnast in the state of Wisconsin, where I grew up, and was also a professional water skier. I worked at SeaWorld in San Diego, Cypress Gardens in Florida. I even skied overseas in Italy for a summer while I was in college. So I won the world championships in that in 1993 and really came to recognize that I really wanted to be involved in medicine. But I also recognized that, a lot of what was happening in medicine was not really what drove my soul. I knew that I didn't want to work in a hospital setting where I would work for, 72 hours on and 5 hours off. I just felt like I wouldn't be doing any patient any service when my body isn't working for me with that kind of strain and stress. So it's just, I found the chiropractic through my water skiing days, and I, had seen or had half the injuries out there due to the teams that I was on for athletics. And so I became a geeky scientist and an athlete and a doctor, and that's what I do now. I see high profiles. I've worked in California, in San Francisco, and in Beverly Hills for over 18 years, and worked in the concierge market there with, athletes, actors, entrepreneurs, everyday folks, and everything in between. And I recently relocated back to my home state of Wisconsin to stay here, and I reconnected with my roots, reconnected with my family after being gone for a long period of time, and really realized that there's a gap that I can fill here that no one else really has the wherewithal for and the experience for that I do. So I decided to stay, and here we are.
Yeah, thank you again, by the way, for doing this and coming on my show here. So when you started this whole journey from sports to being a geeky scientist, there had to be some change that you had to do. Obviously, there had to be some studying you had to do, and there had to be some trainings and certifications that you had to do. What was the transition? Do you think that you were a fitness and athlete that's made you that what needs to be good for me? Or have you seen something done wrong and that's how you all started? Does that make sense?
I think it wasn't a catalyst of if one then the other.
Yeah.
It was more of like both are just residing inside of me. They are my basic, to be part of your language, right? These intrinsically are parts of my essence that I needed to cultivate because they were and are gifts that I have. Science just makes sense to me, especially biological science. Human performance makes sense to me, and my body is designed to be one that performs. So not only do I have access to physically being a performer, but mentally, science and English and biology, microbiology, quantum mechanics, and quantum physics and meditation and all the things that affect the body at the cellular level, that they just make sense to me. And the more I would bring more of that stuff into my awareness from people who are now my mentors and or our coaches and people who are leaders in the industry of awareness and education for these topics, every time I learned something, it just was like, oh yeah, this makes sense. I already know this stuff. Now I just have more tools in my Mary Poppins bag to work with it. So I feel that there wasn't a catalyst of, because I did this, then that had to happen. It was more like, these are all the essence of me, and I am honoring them and cultivating them because they are the gifts that I've been given, and I'm using them because if I don't, that sickness occurs and you just self-combust, and there's
That's
a whole world of people that need the information that I know I'm designed to deliver. So I need to be good at it so I can help more people.
Sure. And it kind of helps too that you went through this, and with your story that helps others by your story and your background. I think that's how you connected with people too, because you can resonate with what they're going through and what you went through. Am I right on that?
Absolutely.
Right. So what are the sports that you were into before, back in the days, or I should say a couple of years back?
Well, this is what I was saying. Rhythmic gymnastics.
Yeah.
With the big long ribbon.
Yeah.
I was the first Olympic level rhythmic gymnast in my state, in Wisconsin.
Okay.
And then, have you ever seen water ski shows where the people make pyramids?
Yes.
Behind a boat?
Yes.
Okay. I did that.
Okay.
So I would do shows in front of people at SeaWorld and at Cypress Gardens and overseas in Lesizia in Italy.
Nice,
I did that.
Nice. Thank you so much for that. And then today, what are you mainly focused at? Are you mainly focused at nutrition? Are you mainly focused on other science items? Explain that if you don't mind.
Actually, I'm making a huge shift right now. I am merging all the information I have with nutrition and how food can optimize your body to help heal and repair from disease, and merging that with a virtual reality tech platform. So I'm creating a company called Food FIXR, and it's an augmented reality app assistant for optimal health at the grocery store, just to make it so much more simple to find the right foods to eat at the grocery store. Because I found that in my 20 years of practice, the top 4 killers in modern medicine, obesity, diabetes, cancer, heart disease, all 4 of them have one thing in common. They are all preventable and potentially reversible just by eating the right foods. Unfortunately, many of the foods we eat have toxins in them, and most people don't even know it. And once you get out of a system like going through chemo or having a heart attack, well, now what? Most people just have to Google it. Like, how do you eat? What do you do?
Right.
What am I supposed to do?
Right.
So I'm doing that. I'm in the process of crowdfunding as we speak on Food FIXR, which is FOODFI, capital X, capital R, for augmented reality or XR reality, right? Foodfixr.com. And I also have just been given an amazing opportunity to be part of the Milwaukee Health Tech pitch competition, and that's on October 26th of this year. So I'm right in line for this business really taking off really quickly, and I'm really, really, really excited about it because it hasn't really taken off quickly. It's taken me 20 years to get to this spot. Like that overnight sensation thing that people talk about. There's nothing overnight about it. It's a lot of hard work and diligence. Sure. and a lot of dedication and discipline. And I've been doing that for a long time, and it's time for people to have access to this kind of solution, on a grand scale, not just on a one-on-one basis with me in my office. So that's the emergence that's happening.
When people they say, or when medias they say a great sensation overnight type of thing,
right?
That actually means to me is that, oh, I found out today.
Yeah.
That does not mean that they're not looking at the 20-year story or the 30-year story.
Yeah, they weren't busting butt for like 20 years before that you found them today,
exactly,
right?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I think you have already explained the word fixer without the E.
Right.
Was that by accident or is that by design?
Absolutely by design. Yes. The way that the world is going now in tech in particular, we're looking at spatial computing as the benchmark of what, the World Wide Web used to be is what spatial computing is going to be and is becoming already. And, I had a really unique position to be in the San Francisco Bay Area during the time of the dot-com boom and basically watched, Cisco become Cisco and watched Google become Google that didn't exist before I moved there, that they became those companies as I was there. And, I didn't have much business savvy or tech savvy at that time because I was just graduating as a doctor and I was just trying to figure out how to run a business as one. So I didn't apply my business skills that I didn't have yet into doing something in the tech industry at that time, right? Well, we're in a different position now. And this is the exact same position, though, as it was back in 1999 with spatial computing, augmented reality, and XR systems. So I really want to have the emergence of healthcare with health tech and in an augmented reality fashion. And I think that this is the perfect way to do it. And it's a way that really truly will have an impact on people. I mean, if you can actually go to the grocery store and have a shopping list given to you of what to eat so that it can heal your endometriosis or your psoriasis or keep you from having the low back pain that you have. They say food is medicine. They don't say that for no reason. I've seen it as real in my practice for over 20 years. If you're eating the right food in the right way, you do have a source to heal. And that's where this will be an authoritative resource, an authoritative central place to go instead of having to just Google it and figure it out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Now, it's going to be a tough question, so let me ask you this, right? We're going through an XR, VR, MR. There are too many R's and too many realities that we're going through. Okay?
Right.
Do you think this is the new way of thinking nowadays and the new way of problem solving?
100%.
Really?
100%. Yes. I have a few people back in California now who are spearheading a lot of the information regarding where augmented reality and spatial computing is going. And according to not only their company's growth, but also how they are infiltrating the mindset of protection through this, through blockchain and a variety of other things that I'm still learning about too. I'm by no means an authority on this. There's a book by Gabriel Rene and Dan Matthews who you really need to look at, and I believe it's called The Spatial Web 3.0. I can't remember the title, I'm sorry, but it is Gabriel Rene, R-E-N-E. Look that up. They have an excellent roadmap to showing where the web has been, where it is now, how it's being evolved into the spatial network, and then yes, how we need to protect our data and ourselves as this is happening.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that. Let me just explain something to the audience if you don't mind. So, XR is extended reality. That's what it means. Now, let me read something here, which I found on the web, and I'm going to wear my glasses for that if you don't mind. So, XR is extended reality. AR is augmented reality. VR is virtual reality. And MR is mixed reality. What does that actually mean? If you really think about it, we're talking about a virtualization reality that we're trying to fix something in your body or out in the world, in the space, or whatever it is. But this is what she's doing, and I think she's doing an awesome job so far, whatever she's doing. So, Dr. Grace, you have come to a point that you are making things happen and making a solution out of it. And you have done so much in the last 20 years. And people have said that, oh, this is the bomb in the world, whatever you have done. What are you going to do for the next 5 years?
Continue to build this very successful multi-million-dollar tech company that's going to help change lives across the country.
That's the next 5 years, you think? And,
oh, yeah.
And I hope I'll be part of that too, and part of the Back2Basics to help you out with this pedestal. So thank you again, Dr. Grace, for coming here and making me understand that, you know what, we are We are celebrities, and we're trying to help each other out to make this a better world. So don't undermine yourself on that part. But before you leave today, do you have any last words before you leave today?
Well, why don't you give me a little direction on that one? What would you like to hear about?
Anything, whatever, any last words? Anything.
Okay, last words. Okay. Keep reading. Meditate and journal daily. Remember your mindful practices. Stay flexible. Eat the right foods in the right way. And definitely go check out Food FIXR, which is FOODFI, capital X, capital R.com. And tune in to hearing me on my podcast, Uncommon Medicine. And you can see that on uncommonmedicine.com.
Thank you so much, Dr. Grace, for coming on my show and making this brighter and making me understand that, you know what, there is other realities besides just the VR reality. So thank you again for making that in a basic way, in a reality way. So thank you again, and God bless.
Thank you. It was lovely being here.
So guys, we spoke with Dr. Grace today, and we talked about that, you know what, you should eat well, you should do things well, and you should do some problem solving. And as usual, as always, there is a quote of the day from Back to Basics, and I'll give you a quote if you don't mind. So the quote is, all you need is love, but a little chocolate doesn't really hurt. I mean, that's what they say, right? So, I mean, sometimes it's okay to indulge on these things here. So, as usual, as always, remember, what do I always say at the end of the episode? Everything in life goes back to basics, and that's what we did today, guys. Guys, take care, God bless, and I'll see you next week. Please comment all my episodes, whatever you can, and be truthful to yourself with all my episodes. It could be good, bad, ugly, either way. It'll make my shows stronger day by day and week by week. There are three things which are always going to be there, and that's what Back to Basics is all about, which is what? The guest is going to be awesome, the content is going to be great, and the third thing is the host is going to be the best. So guys, take care, God bless, and I will see you next week.